I may have found the perfect alternative to the Row Margaux. Seems like everyone's talking about Margaux alternatives, and many of them are just a list of designer totes. But I don't want just another tote bag. If you love the Margaux, especially the east-west or shoulder version, this might just be the perfect bag for you and for me. I know you're all here for the bag, so I'll jump straight into the details of the bag, and then I'll go over the story of how I got it, give you my first impressions, and then finally compare it with a Margaux. Hello, welcome back. I love fashion, luxury, styling, and everything in between. So if you're interested in these topics too, then please consider subscribing and joining our little party here. And here she is. Of course, it comes in the most understated dust bag, the Row dust bag, as some of you may know. It's just got this tiny little tag on the bottom. You very easily can miss it. Otherwise, it's just a plain dust bag. And here she is. This is the Row Peggy Shoulder Bag. And you can wear it two ways, as a shoulder bag, as its name indicates, or you can either detach the strap or just put the strap in the bag and make it a clutch. And you can wear it obviously handheld, or you can do it like a little arm, under the arm movement. It has a magnetic closure on top. So as you can see, there's a little piece of magnet here, and that's how you kind of secure the bag. And it's pretty strong. So I would say once it's closed, it's secure. It's not gonna just open. And it's fully lined in leather. Show you a little bit. There's the logo. And there's as you can see, an internal zippered pocket. And this is in the color moss, I think is what they call it. And to me, I can't think of a better way to describe it. I think that it's showing up on camera pretty true to color. And to me, it's kind of like a forest green, if we're talking about maybe the fall, a very particular type of forest. But yeah, it's not a super vibrant green, as you can see from my sweater here. It's not super bright, super vibrant, but also it's not pastel. I don't quite like pastel colors in bags, I have come to realize. And so yeah, it's a moss green. I would call it a fall, autumn, forest green color. I think last year I realized how my handbag collection is pretty exclusively black and off-white. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a reason. It's mostly black and off-white because they just go with everything I wear. They work with my wardrobe color palette really well. But I've also started paying more attention to color bags because I wanted to see how I can jazz up maybe my style and my wardrobe a little bit by playing more with color, especially adding a pop of color and accessories. And so, yeah, I think this is a pretty cool color. It's very different. I don't see a lot of this color on the market, and so it grabbed my attention. It also comes in black and I think chestnut, which is a dark sort of reddish brown color, which is also very yummy, but I think this one will go with just a lot of the colors in my wardrobe: black, white, navy, browns. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this color. What do you guys think? And just a little bit more information about the bag. The width is 11 inches or 27.5 centimeters. Height is 6 inches and or 15 centimeters. And then depth is 5 inches or 13 centimeters. The strap is 20.5 inches or 52 centimeters. And the weight, which for me is a very important attribute of a bag, is just about 440 grams, which is just under a pound. So for me, that's acceptable. It's not the lightest bag in the world, but it's also not the heaviest. I hate bags that are heavy on their own. By the time I put anything in it, I feel like, you know, I can't wear it for more than a couple hours without getting a sore shoulder. So yeah, this is the Peggy Shoulder Bag. When I first saw this beauty on Mytheresa, it was already sold out, of course, and I scoured the internet and it was not available on the Row's official website, of course, and I also couldn't find stock anywhere else online. I saw the pictures, I love it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So I kept checking, and a couple days later, I Googled it again, and the page on Mytheresa showed up again, and this time showing that I can actually add it to cart. And so I did. When I was checking out, it said that it was the last one. So my guess is someone actually bought it and then returned it, and that's why it became available, but only one of them. So I placed the order pretty late at night, and I did standard shipping, and it was shipped literally 2 hours later. I saw the email the next morning when I woke up. I was very pleasantly surprised. And I saw that it was shipped from Germany. And so I was like, okay, it's gonna take a while. There's customs, this and that. But another pleasant surprise, it got to the US 2 days later. I don't even know how that's possible, but it did. And it was delivered on the same day. So overall, from placing the order to getting the bag, it was about 2 days plus a few hours. So I don't think I've ever had an ordering and delivering experience this seamless and expedient, and it was just pretty insane, and definitely gave me a very good first impression with Mytheresa. This is my first time placing an order on Mytheresa. Of course, I've heard people talk about it a lot on YouTube, but elsewhere as well. I've checked out stuff on it, but I've never actually placed an order. So this was a really good first shopping experience, I would say. And also the delight just did not even stop there. I loved their packaging. I'll insert a little footage, but the packaging was impeccable. I feel like so much thought and attention to detail went into that. It really made the unboxing and shopping experience so luxurious and just yummy, even though it was an online purchase and it was in store and no one's serving you champagne, or you're not in a well-decorated store. I just did it at home, but the experience was glorious. As I was getting into the package, I honestly just felt and thought that this is how luxury shopping, especially online luxury shopping, should feel like. And that's what it felt like. So anyway, I love the experience even before we get into the bag itself. So if you love the East-West shape and the Margaux, I think this could be the perfect handbag. Both of these things are super on trend if that's your thing, you care about trends, but also in my opinion, they are equally timeless in the sense that they will stand the test of time. We all know that the East-West trend has been all the rage, and with every designer brand coming up with their own spin, from Dior's Lady Di Joy, Hermes's Kelly Elan, Elias Le Teckle, and to Prada's Bonnie bag. But don't get me wrong, East-West is nothing new. It's a shape that's been around for probably as long as there has been luxury handbags. For example, right, we all know Chanel's classic flap. I don't think it shows up as an East-West bag during this trend, but it's obviously an East-West bag, and it's been like the most famous probably East-West bag for years and years by fashion lovers all over. So again, the East-West trend is not new. East-West bags are not new. It's just very trending right now. And a lot of bags that used to come in different shapes that historically have not been in the East-West, horizontal shape, now brands are introducing them in that new shape. The Row Margaux, on the other hand, was first released in 2018, but it didn't rise to the stardom that it's in today until probably 5 years later, around 2023, I would say. And they've been so coveted, and they've been compared to timeless classics bags like the Birkin. And because of this, it's been nearly impossible to get your hands on Margaux. And it also, if you're trying to get it on the resale market, it comes with a pretty hefty premium. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's anything revolutionary about the design of the bag, like the shape of the bag itself. It's a tote bag with side buckles. It's gorgeous, but I don't think it's the design itself, or at least the shape, the silhouette itself, that makes it so desirable. It seems to me, at least to me, the main appeal is the vibe it gives, that je ne sais quoi, that you can't really describe it. It gives from just using really luxurious materials, and somehow they made a silhouette that's kind of relaxed and it's got an attitude. I think it's that attitude that makes it so appealing, as opposed to just a tote bag, which is why I don't think other tote bags from other designer brands are necessarily good alternatives unless they also give that attitude. And so, yeah, I know, an attitude from a bag, but somehow the Row managed to give the Margaux an attitude. And I think that is, to me, at least, their secret sauce. And so coming back to this bag, I like the East-West shape, always have, always will. I have had that Chanel flap forever. My current favorite, the Row bag, is for the millionth times ever, the Mytheresa bag. This is for me right now, the ultimate East-West bag. I'll link the in-depth review down below if you're interested. And as for the Margaux, I've talked about this before as well, linked down below. The most popular iteration of the Margaux is really not for me per se for various reasons, but I do like, again, the vibe, the attitude of the Margaux. For me, it's just the epitome of classic chic. I like the look of it on other people and the feel of it, just not so much on me, especially that classic silhouette. So my first impression of the Peggy clutch, both when I saw the pictures online and now in person, is that it does also have that je ne sais quoi, that attitude, very subtle decadence, and that it's just quintessential the Row vibe. And so that's what I really like about it. So how does the Peggy shoulder actually compare with a Margaux? The Margaux that has the most similar silhouette would probably be the Margaux shoulder 12. So let's compare this bag, the Peggy shoulder, and the Margaux shoulder 12, which I think is the most similar in size. So they differ in a few main ways. One, obviously, it's missing buckles. The Margaux, including the shoulder version, has these gorgeous side buckles that you can unbuckle, adding to that relaxed attitude that the Margaux has. This one, obviously, as you can see, there's no buckles, there's no details on the side. It's literally just folded. Piece of leather folded. So, you know, I'm not super into the bells and whistles on bags, but I do have to say, I do think that the side buckles give the Margaux a little bit more sophistication, adds to that attitude and a little bit more attention to detail. And comparatively, the Peggy is pretty plain. Yeah, would I have preferred a little buckle or something on the side, just like the Margaux? Maybe. So yeah, this is on the plainer side. And then the second main difference is obviously the strap. The Peggy has a detachable, thin strap that you can very easily take on and off, but it's very dainty, very thin. And comparatively, the Margaux shoulder, just like all of the other Margaux, have double long handles. So you can put them on your shoulder, you can hand hold it, but they're not detachable. And so, yeah, you can obviously try to probably push them down and try to wear them, you know, here like a clutch, but it wouldn't be as good an experience as the Peggy. So I would say between the two of them, the Margaux shoulder and the Peggy, I would actually think that the Peggy wins on versatility just because you can very easily convert it into a clutch and then also put it on the shoulder like this. In terms of size, so the Peggy, like I said, was 11 by 6 by 5 inches. And the Margaux shoulder 12, which is not even considered the biggest Margaux, obviously it goes all the way up to 17, but even the 12, I think the width is 14.25, which is a lot bigger than 12. So I'm not sure why there's such a big difference, and then it's 8 inches in height and then 6 inches deep. So for me, the Margaux shoulder 12 would be considered a quite large bag. Again, pretty bulky because the base of it is pretty deep. And so for that reason, if you've seen my why the Margaux doesn't work for me video, I think the Margaux shoulder for me maybe have some of the same issues, which is just it's too bulky, it's too big for me for my day-to-day. And so the Peggy actually wins on practicality for my lifestyle. I think the Margaux looks super cool and edgy in street style photos, but it's just, again, a little bit too chunky for my lifestyle and in my opinion, and it's just too large to be used as a day-to-day bag. As opposed to this one, it'll hold all of your essentials. It's easy, grab and go, and so it's more likely to be used on a daily basis. And then just finally, the most important factor for a lot of us, which is just the Peggy is a lot more affordable. You can actually find it at retail, right? You don't have to go to the resale market and pay a premium. They are actually obtainable. I have never bought on Mytheresa before. I don't have special access, not in VIP or anything, but I was able to just get one of these right off Mytheresa at retail, and so definitely much more obtainable than the Margaux. I'm pretty sure the Shoulder Margaux is just as hard to get or even harder given all the hype around shoulder bags and East-West bags. The Shoulder Margaux are probably extremely difficult to get at this point. So all in all, the Peggy to me is almost like a Margaux light, if I may. Usually I would say if you really want something, go for the real thing and not the cheaper or light version, because you'll probably end up still wanting the real thing anyway. That's happened to me definitely a couple times. But in this case, I do like the Margaux, again, the vibe, the attitude, but it doesn't quite work for me right now. The exact design. And so the Peggy actually seems like a really awesome alternative to the Margaux shoulder if you're looking for something that's more practical and versatile, in my opinion. An everyday indulgence that's understated in its appearance, but also feels extraordinary in its craftsmanship and the way it just kind of makes a statement and commands attention in its simplicity. In case you can't tell, I'm quite in love with this bag, and I am so tempted to keep it. Mytheresa does have a pretty good return policy, so I have 30 days to think about it. Well, less than 30 days now because I've had this for a few days, but I really like it. I'm so tempted to keep it. I feel like this is gonna be the year of the colored bags for me, and we're off to a pretty strong start. So what do you think of the Peggy shoulder bag? Do you have any of the Margaux bags? How are you celebrating the East-West trend? Are you a fan of East-West shaped bags? I can't wait to chat with you in the comments. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.